Ayan na. Kamusta naman kayo dyan? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on what time zone kayo nag-join sa atin. Pasensya na over the past few days, medyo out of the loop tayo. Hindi naman tayo out of the loop actually. MIA lang tayo dito sa lives natin dahil sobrang 100% tayo doon sa mga engagements natin. Let me again say my utmost gratitude sa Philippine Embassy in Ottawa, for hosting a wonderful, fantastic reception. I was very glad to have a chance to meet with ambassadors and top experts and ministry representatives from different countries. Of course, our host country, Canada, but also ASEAN countries, Mongolia, Northeast Asia, North America, and what have you. So it was quite a pleasure. Thank you also to folks at Defense Ministry. Thank you to the Mugs, Foreign Ministry, Global Affairs, among others, for really intense and very fruitful discussions. And of course, also sa Carleton University and the fantastic students there. Sisimula pa lang ng semester, bibong-bibo na. 1 hour of intense exchanges with really smart kids from ASEAN, focus on ASEAN, focus on US-China competition. So grabe. It was really intense. So pasensya na if I couldn't squeeze in any time because talagang na-drain na tayo with all the lectures and discussions and back and forwards. Of course, one of the questions that keeps on popping up is what if bumalik ang mga Dutertes, diba? So you can imagine I had to make a long argument in the interest of the Philippine national interest, right? It was quite intense. Obviously, nagka-catch up din tayo sa mga writings natin. Upcoming piece also about comparisons between the Philippines and the lessons to be learned from other countries. So today, guys, medyo catch up lang tayo sa mga latest nangyari. Lucky 9 na pala. Lucky 9 ang tawag sa mga senador na muntik na counter coup the other day. Lucky 9 na pala sila. Hindi ba parang pangalan nung Lucky pangalan ng pogo nila ano yun, di ba? Pangalan ng pogo nila ano. Etong Lucky 9. Ito yung parang pangalan ng pogo nila. Lucky 9 yung pogo nila Harry Roque. Ano ba yan? Lucky 88, 44, whatever. Anyway guys, alam natin na kailan lang mukhang may counter coup attempt. Grabe naman ang gulo talaga ng Pilipinas eh. Hindi mo alam which side of the equation you're gonna look at. Just as we were trying to figure out whether there'll be a leadership change in the Congress dahil din sa mga chismis na baka daw up to 100 daw are okay about leadership change. Just as we were trying to catch up on the developments on the House of Representatives front, ito na naman may counter-coup efforts daw led by Caldero King or the ultimate Karen, or better known as the super objective, super neutral senator judge na talagang hindi pro Duterte at all when he talks about itong Sara Duterte impeachment trial. At nang lecture pa sa atin about objectivity. Hindi ko alam yung kanyang intellectual horizons. Obviously, it's not broad enough to look at the category of public intellectual. Alright, okay. Bago natin balikan itong mga napakatalino natin, napakagaling natin mga senador, let me say na, and this is actually like the thrust of my articles this week, comparisons with Nepal, comparisons with Indonesia, but also comparisons with Brazil. Gusto ko talaga balikan itong case ng Brazil because the other day lang guys, eto na, nakasuhan na yung dating presidente ng Brazil, si Jair Bolsonaro, to, if I'm not mistaken, 27 years in jail for election denialism and more importantly, for abetting basically a coup dun sa kanyang pagkatalo in the 2022 elections in Brazil. So that basically bars him from running for office unless some crazy pardon or something happens. Although I'm not very familiar with the jurisprudence in Brazil whether a presidential pardon could apply to this case. Sabihin natin if a right-wing president wins in the next election cycle, because as things stands, the progressive incumbent Lula will likely run for what, the 7th or 8th time, and potentially for his 4th presidency soon. Obviously, yung kapitbahay dito ng Canada, ang kabilang kampo, galit na galit sa Brazil. You already had earlier President Trump imposing a 50% tariff on Brazil in order to basically intimidate it against trying his best buddy, Jair Bolsonaro. Pasensya na kay Digong, hindi siya included dyan sa grupo na yan. Kahit nagpi-feeling mga Digong na liligtas sila ni Trump, diba? Tapos pinagtawanan lang natin because that's exactly the case. Trump couldn't care less about Digong and pro-China people, as he openly said during his meeting with BBM. But Jair Bolsonaro was much closer to Trump's understanding of kind of a camaraderie, fellow populist, right-wing populist, etc. And interestingly, the US also had imposed under the Global Magnitsky Act. Kasi yung Global Magnitsky Act was about yung mga human rights violators. No? Magnitsky, if I'm not mistaken, was the name of a prosecutor in Russia before na parang na-torture ganun ng intelligence services in Russia. So, a law was named in his name in the US kung saan pwede sila mag-sanction ng any individual engaged in egregious human rights violations. So in the case of Russia, what we had there, guys, was so the US came up with the Global Magnitsky Act. So people who were involved in the Khashoggi assassination, gruesome assassination, people involved in the Uyghur minority oppression in Xinjiang, in China, Uyghur is the Turkic way of saying it, Uyghur is the English way. Ito yung mga tao na na-try. But sa sobrang mahal na mahal ni Trump itong si Jair Bolsonaro, they tried even a justice of the Supreme Court of Brazil under the Global Magnitsky Act. But nevertheless, they pushed through, and Jair Bolsonaro is now held accountable. So this is a big debate because sa ibang bansa, kahit anong election denialism or gulo mo or counter coup mo, kahit anong gagawin mong insurrection, mukhang makakalusot ka. Speaking of insurrection, wow, the other day lang, just to be fair, no? So sabi ko nga, wait lang, mamaya na yung DDS, eto, medyo tumaas ang kilay natin. Hindi naman ka-level ni Boy Kilay sa Senate. Pero itong headline was, I won't say misleading, but it was quite provocative. So, may speech si Sara Duterte the other day lang sa military, British accent na tayo. Kasi parang this guy, British accent when it serves the moment. Military schedule. Dito sa kanyang speaking schedule, sa kanyang mga military folks from the reservists, ito sabi niya, protect democracy. But actually, if you read the speech, so she says protect democracy and human rights, blah, blah, blah. So actually, it sounded more, I would say, hypocritical and, to be honest, parang, than dodgy. But nevertheless, it's hard to be, I think it would be foolish na maging dismissive sa mga undertones ng mga pinagsasabi ng mga Duterte, because if you remember, si Digong openly urged the military, right, the other year, to correct yung mistakes ni Marcos, yung fractured governance ni Marcos. And you had multiple times when Digong and yung mga ka-DDS natin dyan supporting basically, whatever they want to call it, RevGov, People Power, etc. Which of course is the height of hypocrisy. Dahil last time I check, ang may pakanan na bumalik ang mga Marcoses sa Malacanang, which we have been warning against for forever, is actually Duterte's. Digong by choosing BBM as his vice presidential partner, Digong by bearing the remains of the former dictator in the Cemetery of National Hero, basically helping the whitewashing of the dictatorship era. Digong by saying na best president sana si Marcos, minsan may caveat, minsan walang caveat. And then most important, the Unity Team, which allowed the consolidation of solid North and solid South, which allowed Marcos to come back. So I'm sorry, but basically anyone who supported Duterte has zero, or Unity Team for that matter, definitely has zero moral credibility whatsoever to talk about ang sama ng mga Marcoses, talk about people power. I'm sorry, no, like wala kayong credibilidad whatsoever, zero. All right, let's be absolutely clear about that. Okay, let's be absolutely clear about that. So going back to this, guys, what I'm saying here is you have to be very careful. At parati ko sinasabi yan, there are many forces out there who are trying to hijack, guys, itong anti-corruption movement natin sa bansa. Obviously, there are always the usual suspects, yung mga anarchists, yung mga crazies, yung mga people na gusto lang manggulo for the sake of gulo. May mga tao na talagang insurrectionary ang kanilang pag-iisip at sa kanila parang French Revolution yata ang gusto nilang gawin sa Pilipinas. You're always gonna have those kinds of people, right? All around the world, the anarchists, some crazy people, whatever. But having said that, guys, my concern here is that you have a very consolidated political force, which is basically the Dutertes and their sympathizers, including baka nga Diskaya diehard supporters, hindi ko alam. No, but seriously, you have all of these people. You have all of these people, guys, who are really wait lang, nice ko lang tong TikTok na to kasi pinawala hindi tayo nag-TikTok. Okay, I think this should help. Okay. Alright. Okay. So anyway, guys, going back to this. So meron tayong this is the situation we have right now. We have Duterte diehard supporters, this guy that. Now, these people talagang sinasakyan nila lang itong issue na to. So sa isang banda, parang sinusupport nila yung parang gawing state witness sa mga disguise. So basically parang wow, thank you tumutulong pa kayo sa amin for fact finding. And then at the same time parang si Vico pa yung masama bigla ngayon, tapos tinitira si Vico, sinasabing hypocrite si Vico, binibasmirch si Vico. I mean like, that's suspicious, right? What's going on there? And then, ngayon biglang galit sa leadership sa Congress, sa Senate, ayaw nila ng corruption, gusto nila ng pagbabago. And then more worryingly, you also have ex-generals calling for the, tutulong daw ang military dapat sana sa mga flood control projects. Ayun na, guys, connect the dots. We know what's going on here. At the very least, this is a destabilization campaign. At worst, it's a concerted conspiracy to basically bring down the government. And who's next in line if BBM goes down? Last time we checked, hindi pa na-impeach na-impeach sa Congress, pero hindi pa na-trial tong taon na to dahil sa mga DDS natin sa Senado. Kamusta naman tayo dyan? So, it's a tricky situation, guys. It's a very, very tricky situation. And kitang-kita natin, kaya nga sabi ko nung isang araw, etong mga to, tahimik na tahimik, dun sa mga kalokohan na nangyari nung panahon ng Digong. Tapos ngayon biglang pag-good governance na sila, papogi na sila, biglang ngayon all in na sila. Again, let's be absolutely clear. No less than Bato de la Rosa.
Inulit pa niya.
Diba?
Thanks to Senator Bato de la Rosa kahapon. He didn't even give himself a chance. Inulit pa niya. Can you be more specific? Anong taon po kayo to be specific? You're on their own, sabi niya. Mga 2016. No, specific.
Diba?
2016.
Si Sir Ronald, tawa na to.
Si Bato. Kumano, yumaman kami sa DPWH.
Diba? 2016 talaga nagsimula yung mga big flood control projects. So, kung anong sasabihin ng mga ka-DDS natin, no, but panahon ni Aquino naging, yeah, but there were like small-time people there. They were not doing all this crazy, multi-billion, hundreds and hundreds of different projects, etc. So, alam natin ang ligaya ng mga Diskaya talaga nagsimula. Specifically, nung first year ni Digong, right? Where ang laki ng billions and billions ang kinuha ng mga ka-Diskaya natin. Grabe naman gumawa niyan. Oo, pero hindi lang yun eh. Hindi lang yung hypocrisy of say anti-corruption ka tapos biglang wala kang sasabihin doon or wala kang sasabihin doon sa 50 billion na allegedly yung mga kung anong flood control na punta naman doon sa nila tatay o alam na natin yan, diba guys? You just need to connect the dots, diba? All the numbers are there. Projects na mga Diskaya were able to get really sa 2016 nagsimulang kanilang ligaya. All of us know that. Some people are also asking kamusta naman yung 51 billion infra projects so guys, come on, right? Gamitin niyo naman ang utak natin, diba? Huwag naman tayo magpauto-uto dahil lang idol natin. Buti nga ito si Jinggoy eh. At especially huwag natin kalimutan, under which president biglang napalaya lahat ng mga na-involved sa Napoles or allegedly na-involved sa Napoles. Again, Digong. I mean, may mga tao, bakit Digong ka na Digong? Well, because we have to understand how did we get here, right? Hindi nangyari out of nowhere ang mga kalokohan na nangyari ngayon, di ba? corruption, unfortunately, has been with us for a very, very long time, but it really got worse, out of control, totally out of control, really under the previous administration. That was an administration of immense impunity. Kung titingnan natin yung human rights violations, extrajudicial killings, shutting down of ABS-CBN, kahit anong gustong yung script ni bibigay ng mga ka-DDS natin, it still doesn't take out the factor na there was tremendous amount of authoritarian corruption under the previous administration and all, diba? So, gamitin natin ang utak natin. At the same time, yun nga yung sinasabi ko, yung mga sobrang tahimik sa mga nangyari dating kalokohan, biglang ngayon, naging hero. So, tuloy, naglalabasan na ng resibo.
Kay Kiko Barsaga, Councilor,
Talagang ano.
binabati kitang happy birthday. And may you someday rise
Aba,
to be a great politician like your father.
ano daw?
Kay Kiko Barsaga,
Ano daw?
Councilor,
Great politician. Oh my God.
binabati kitang happy birthday.
Yun.
And may you someday rise to be a great politician like your father.
A great politician talaga. Parang mahirap. Great at politician. Parang ayaw ko silang magkatabi yung dalawang words na yan. Parang hindi bagay yung great at politician. So, anyways guys, talagang ano yung mga tigre-tigre na yan. Meow, 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 meow. Yan. Pantayan nyo na mabuti guys. Huwag tayo magpauto sa mga yan. Alright? Tingnan natin na mabuti guys bago tayo ano dyan, diba? Tingnan natin na mabuti. Huwag tayo magpauto. Pag may mga out of nowhere, biglang galit na galit sa corruption, galit na galit sa leadership sa Congress, galit na galit sa gano'n. Tapos, wait lang, sino ulit to? Parang, wait, who you? Wait, ano ulit ang ginagawa? That matters eh. That matters. Kasi otherwise, as I said, either opportunista, nagpapapogi lang yung iba, or worse, may ulterior motive or agenda. Basically, diba? Regime change ang hiningi. Or gusto nilang gawing completely lame duck si BBM. In fact, as we speak, there are also impeachment efforts against BBM. Again. Kaso yun lang, yung isa sa mga may pakanan sa puro mga impeachment harassment, including legal harassment laban sa atin, ay medyo nawala sa eksena. Nawala sa eksena yung ating eternal youth party. Forever youth, diba? Tuloy na. I mean, what a crazy situation. It's quite poetic that of all people na nag-replace dito sa banned political party niyan, zero pa rin na naman yung record ni favorite lawyer ni Sir Ronald Llamas. Ang nag-replace pa sa kanila yung Gabriela na sobrang nag-booking kay Shimanak, diba? Last year at very, very aggressively against the Dutertes and all of that. So, it's quite interesting, guys, the turn of events. Uy, grabe naman, wag niyong bulin yan. Ito pa, wag niyong kalimutan sino nagpalaya kay Jinggoy. Yung paborito niyong senador na pinaparesign ngayon ng isang mati ni Idol na ayaw ka na pag-usapan yung issue na yan. Ayaw ata ng mga echosera. Kahit medyo madamao rin yung lighting system natin dito sa sites. Anyways, guys, guys, wag tayo magpauto. You know, why do I keep on saying this, guys? Because I'm hearing a lot of nonsense out there, to be honest. So basically, what we keep on hearing, guys, here is wag magpagamit sa mga Marcoses, wag sumama sa Marcoses, ganito, ganyan. And usually this comes from people who are never Marcos in a very narrow sense of the word dahil maybe they dedicated years of their life to fighting the Marcos dictatorship. I mean, the best years of their life, the most productive years of life, the youth of their life. So basically for them, basta, like anything that puts you in the same, the same even range of sight as the Marcoses, whether ikaw ay kahit hindi ka kasama sa majority sa Congress pero kasama ka, sabihin natin, sa prosecution team ng Sara impeachment trial, or sabihin natin si Risa, well, Kiko and Bam, Bibo tuloy. Kiko and Bam, majority naman sila consistently mukhang regardless sa Senate President, they'll try to be majority just to get the good offices, etc. But Riza joining the majority, does that mean that basically pro anything Tito Soto or pro anything admin? I mean, I think that's a very questionable. That's a very questionable kind of thinking. And I think that's a kind of thinking that is very narrow-minded and more importantly, very politically dangerous. Very politically dangerous. Because, katulad ng sinabi natin, just like Dante's Inferno, right? Alighieri's Inferno. There are levels of parang evil and hell here, right? Let's be absolutely clear about this. The Marcos dictatorship was absolute evil. The Duterte years, I think people pretty much can see what are the evidences we have been providing and arguments we've been making. But to put Marcos Jr. on the same plane is a slightly, for me, yes, it's a highly problematic administration. We can look at everything that is not there, everything that is not right. We can talk about the refusal of the Marcoses to apologize for their past, for them to repent. Repentance importante yan kasi may sinabi na naman si Caldero King. I'm absolutely all for criticism of the current administration. Ang dami na pagkakulang, daming mali, ang daming hindi ginawang tama. But let's be absolutely clear about it. There are levels to this game. Yung kalagayan natin ngayon pagdating sa freedom of expression, pagdating sa extrajudicial killings, pagdating sa West Philippine Sea, pagdating sa basically the sanity of statesmanship or lack of sanity, it's incomparable. So you can say purgatorio, you can say first level of inferno, pero seventh circle of hell, basically yung dalawa ng pinag-usapan natin. Full dictatorship, postmodern dictatorship, different variations of that, right? Crazy. So, first of all, let's be very empirically specific about this, right? Very empirically specific about this. I'm sorry, but if there's anyone who has moral ascendancy or credibility to make any assessment about this issue, is Senator De Lima. And Senator De Lima used exactly the same term we used. There is more democratic space right now. We're not a perfect democracy, far from it. We're a highly problematic system, highly corrupt system. But you cannot compare Marcos Jr. to Marcos Sr. or Marcos Jr. definitely to Duterte's. Right? So that's the first thing you have to get right. Both highly problematic, sumutawagan Team Kadiliman, Team Kasamaan, whatever. But it's not the same level. It's not the same level. That's number one. Number two, in the same vein, some of our friends are saying wag magpagamit sa mga Marcoses, although very weird yung line of argument, and how is that magpagamit? Ito masasabi ko, lalong wag kayo magpagamit sa mga Dutertes, because the Dutertes brought back the Marcoses, and the Dutertes have overseen all of the Discaya flood control stuff, and overseen all of the EJKs among others allegedly that brought Duterte to the ICC situation. Right, so the Duterte is responsible both for the Marcos return and also for their own shenanigans. That's double, right? And absolutely, there's no comparison whatsoever. We know it. A lot of us should have known it better, considering what they're facing themselves. How crazy, scary, authoritarian, repressive the situation was under the previous administration. And we're really lucky that we escaped a full authoritarian RevGov dictatorship system, really by skin of our teeth, right? That's what we're talking about here. There are levels to this game. So, hindi sabi naman huwag magpagamit sa mga Marcos, lalo kayo hindi wag magpagamit sa mga Dutertes, right? Sali ng sali dun sa mga protesta, sali ng sali sa ganyan-ganyan, tapos hindi man lang nag-background check. Ito ba, ay DDS ba to? Or talagang corruption ba ito? And then diba? Ito ba, ay may agenda tong mga to, magdi-destabilize ng government, or itong mga to ay talagang may agenda for reform, structural reform. Right? Mag-due diligence naman tayo dyan. Diba? Mag-due diligence. Lalo wag kayong magpagamit sa mga DDS. Lalo na ngayon, inatak pa si Vico. So, ganito, by that ridiculous argument, so si Vico ngayon ang papagamit sa mga Marcoses by giving testimony about the massive corruption right? In his city that he's been trying to clean up. Ganun na bang argument natin? Si Vico rin nagpapagamit sa Marcos. I mean, you see how ridiculous this argument is gonna sound. Para sa akin, lalong wag kang magpagamit sa mga Dutertes. Right? Because of that double baggage. Not only for their own baggage, but also facilitating the return of the Marcoses. That's a double baggage. So kung anti-Marcos ka, lalo ka dapat anti-Duterte. That's basically the logic there. So once you put your emotions aside, your personal experience aside, you'll see what I'm talking about here. And then pangatlo, and this is the most important part, absolutely pro-Philippines dapat tayo, hindi ito kampihan, ito kadiskaya, kadidies man. Yes, but nevertheless, we're not, okay, real talk na natin ulit to Yung idea ng third force ay aspirational pa rin ngayon. Huwag kayong manggulo. Yung issue ni Jinggoy, huwag natin pag-usapan, okay? Nasisira yung train of thought ko. Guys, come on. Huwag na tayo mag-Jinggoy dyan. Tama na yan. Guys, mga respetable tayong tao. Meron akong talk ngayon, kaya medyo matimid. May a couple of university talks tayo today. Okay. Ito, real talk tayo This is the hard truth. Yes, nanalo yung dalawang senador out of 12, out of 24 basically. So tatlo na nga lang silang with Risa. Yes, may mga ilan na nanalo ang Kabayan, ilan na nanalong but guys, the numbers are not there yet. The numbers are not there yet. Wala pa sa threshold yung power ng pink or pro-Philippines, whatever you want to call them. So, when you don't have the numbers yet, you have to work towards getting the numbers. And the best chance will be in 2028. Unless, of course, we'll have a revolution and things will go crazy, right? Ibang usapan na yan. But, tama na yung mga tanong nyo kay Jinggoy. Wala akong alam dyan. Basta alam ko yung... Hindi ba, man? Wag naman na. Guys, ito. Huwag nyo sirain yung train of thought natin. Yan mga hindi mo na-expect sa politika natin kung ano lang. Wow, that's wild. Like, wow. Like, wait. Hindi pa tayo nakamove on dun sa isa. Anyway, ayan kasi tayo pinapatulan niyo yung mga chismis ka na tuloy nasisira yung bayan natin. Anyway, going back to this. Numerically, it's not there yet. The threshold is not there. Kasi for you to be a third force, you have to be comparable in terms of at least your numerical and qualitative force. Now, obviously, whether it's Akbayan, Chel Jokno, Leila de Lima, etc. sa Congress, they're punching well above their weight. But even if sabihin natin they're 5 to 10 times more productive than your usual congressman or your usual trapo, still they're not there yet. Although they're trying their best to still be a force to reckon with. So when you still don't have that, plus the fact that, let's be honest, matagal namin pinag-usapan ni Sir Ronald yan, hindi pa rin. Tama na kasi. Bakit? Alam mo guys, sa TikTok lang hindi sila tatanong ng Jinggoy. Alam mo talaga kayo mga echosera kayo. I'm very disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed with you people. Tingnan mo, yung buti pa itong mga taga-TikTok, respetable. They're focusing on my analysis. Kayo talaga, echosera kayo. Anyways, going back to this. Wala pa rin numbers and more importantly, wala pa rin organization. Diba? Actually, ingat din ako. Sasabihin ko, magagalit na naman yung mga dami na galit sa atin, tapos magalit na may ibang kakamping sa atin. Ay, hirap na naman. Yan ang problema kung kampihan and partisanship. Parang, even a reasonable discussion, people take it wrong. Diba? Yung mga nagsabi, oh, si Richard, si Esguerra, ingay, bali, naging majority naman. Yeah, exactly. Actually, kung ginamit mo yung utak mo, malalaman mo, may point kami ni Esguerra. Di sana naghintay kayo, majority pa rin naman kayo at hindi si Boy Kilay ang boss nyo. Or hindi ka DDS ang teammate nyo. Kaya umiinit ang ulo ko dyan Tapos minsan pag nagsasalita, parang, hello, no one is above criticism. As if perfecto lahat ng mga leaders ng liberals, progressives. Hindi. So, wag naman tayo. Kaya medyo, medyo nag-iingat din ako. Mahirap na. Di ba? Three front war na tayo minsan. Dami mga ka-loyalists ang galit sa atin dahil sa mga sinabi ko sa Marcos Sr., including yung mga kababayan. You know, I always mention yung pagka-Ilocano case because precisely I'm saying, even if you're Ilocano, doesn't mean you should be pro-Marcos. In fact, if anything, you should be more critical of Marcos because you should know them better. Kaya yun yung sinasabi ko dun sa kabilang kampo, di ba? Oo. Pangalawa, katulad ng sinabi ni Isabela de los Reyes, you can be 100% Ilocano and 100% patriotic. Right? For Mother Pilipinas. But anyway, tama na yan. Oy, Elmo, tama na yan. This is safe space, respectable space, alright? Kaya grabe yung attack sa amin ni Esguerra. We're doing our best to be kind of independent, safe spaces for thinking. Kaya in fairness naman, I think we took a lot of punches for that, including a lot of punches for hosting Senator Trillanes on our shows and all. Pero ako, at least ako, yung parang si Bato dun sa Jonathan Morales showdown with, hindi ka tulad ng buti na senador, hindi ako convicted. Ako, gumagalan ako pag interview ko si Sir Ronald tsaka si Sir Sunny, like, alas man ganyan ako. Hindi ko alam sa kabilang channel, mukhang mas free-flowing ata sila but anyways, di ba? Kaya ingat din ako kasi manisab like, ay my goodness, ayan tayo may blinkers talaga tayo. May blinkers talaga tayo. Ang mas surprising pa sa mas interesting, actually hindi surprising, I know it. Mas interesting pa sa yung mga MAGA Pinoys na anti-Duterte. Anti-DDS pero MAGA Pinoy. Very interesting, very interesting. Mahabang usapan yan. I don't want to also get into trouble dun sa mga... Ay nako, yan ang problema kasi kapag nag-iisip ka ng independent at sinisabi mo talaga yung iniisip mo. Ang dami mga galit sa'yo, dami na trigger. Trigger King. Trigger King ang tawag niya sa akin. Anyways, balik na tayo sa ating respectable aura. Ang sinasabi ko dito is A, their levels of hell and therefore their levels of bad leadership. And hindi ka level ni junior, nung senior, ni tatay, ganun magkaibang level, 7th circle, 6th circle, purgatory, whatever. Pangalawa, lalo hindi tayo dapat magpagamit sa mga DDS, kaya nga ingat lang, tignan na mabuti, sino mga nag-iingay, ano bang ba't kasi sila nag-iingay, ano bang gusto nila sa buhay, ano bang hanash nila sa buhay, ano consistent ba itong tao na to, may credibility ba tao to. Gamitin ng utak, titignan nyo, including yung mga birthday greetings. Tigre-tigre, meow lang pala. Pangatlo, eto guys, hindi pa consolidated ang pink movement. So in the meantime, while you're building the momentum, building mobilization, you're navigating this difficult Marcos versus Duterte landscape, you make sure guys, you are on point. You make sure guys na you're fighting the good fight and you make sure that hindi ka nagpapagamit, especially dun sa even the worst types of opportunist forces, and you make sure you insulate the process, itong whole anti-corruption movement na yan. Otherwise, guys, you're basically helping the return of Dutertes, right? Functionally speaking. Or worse, you're allowing your sincere good governance agenda to be hijacked. Now, let me also... hindi ko sinabi as certain, Sinabi ko talaga kami ni Esguerra. Solidarity yan. Excuse me, guys. Okay, kami. Hindi as certain. Inis ako pag may nagsabi, as certain, Richard. Ano ka ba? Friend na ka tayo. Ini-ascertain mo ako ngayon. Nagme-message lang tayo kanina, di ba? Yun ang, alam ko yung ascertain. Saan ba nanggaling ganyan sarcasm na ascertain? Kunyari, hindi kilala. Ayan. Yun, ascertain Ronald Llamas. Yun, totoo yan. Talagang. Kasi ang daming nicknames, National treasure na, No, but seriously, guys. So that's why I'm saying really ingat tayo. So I start with Brazil. Why did I talk about Brazil? Because in Brazil, guys, things got really, really wild. Today, the news is kind of okay, but it's still, Brazil is a highly polarized country. Honestly, and every time I say Brazilian, I'm so excited to talk about them, except their politics, because I don't know, there are lots of Bolsonarismo supporters and all that. You don't want to get into some weird situation. So the damage has been already done to Brazilian democracy in so many ways. And forget about Bolsonaro, they're YouTuber, right-wing crazy guys. Forget about MAGA. This is like times na sa Brazil na one of them, ka-age ko pa, 30s pa lang, mid-30s, late 30s pa lang, ay number 3 na sa mga pre-election surveys. So ganun ang level nila ngayon. So the damage has already been done. And that's because when the Operation Carwash scandal broke out and then investigation happened, sobrang biased yung investigation. The investigations were partisan and tainted. The investigation focused primarily on the PT, Partido Trabajador, and kind of work around other things. There was coordination, ethical breaches as far as communication between the prosecution team and the courts are concerned. Leak yan a few years ago. So actually, eventually, marami sa mga nakulong, including former President, current President Lula, ay napalaya, and at the same time, yung mga prosecutors were behind it, all of these Harvard boys. I think there are like 4 or 5 of them, mga mukhang model na Brazilian, ganun, sila, basically si Team nila Moro, etc. They're all disgraced now because nalaman talaga tampered yung investigation process, and that investigation car wash really went so wild that eventually the vice president, the speaker of the house, the president, the ex-president back then, the now president, lahat sila nakulong, right? Or nakulong or na-impeached. Dilma Rousseff, the first Brazilian film president, and so it got out of control, so crazy, it brought down the whole house, and then Bolsonaro went up. And since then, basically, Brazil is not the same country, politically speaking. It's a fantastic country, lovely people, amazing people, beautiful people, wonderful people. But politically speaking, the damage has already been done. So, I mean, kudos for, the current administration for standing their ground, blah, blah, blah. But, that's my point. Kung hindi mong gamitin yung utak mo at nagpapagamit ka sa mga worst types of the worst types, talagang you're gonna find yourself where the damage has been really deeply embedded, and it's going to be very, very difficult to reverse that. Anyways, on that note, I need to prepare na for our next talks and all. At least nagpahinga tayo ng konti kahapon. So thank you so much again. Lucky Ball Al Nahar. Is that the real account? Oh, blah 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 ka, ba't ka pumunta dito? And patulan na natin, guys. At na may time na tayo patola. Oh, sino pa? Wag na kayo magtanong kay Chingoy, ha? Uy, grabe naman kayo, guys. Wag naman kayo ganyan kay Chingoy. Hindi naman daw siya, maganda naman daw yung reputation niya. Wag na natin sirain yung reputation. Okay? Maganda na eh. Maganda. Okay, on that note, I'll keep it there. Baka naman madulas na naman tayo. Impitahin na lang natin si Sir Ronald later this week para siya na mag-analysis dito. On that note, thank you very much, guys. Maraming salamat. Really appreciate all of this fantastic conversation we're having. Please don't forget to subscribe to us. Be part of our community. Subscribe to us dito sa YouTube. And of course, following us on Richard Florida Hidaran sa ating public pages, etc. Yung mga troll na nagwawala na bakit clock yung account. That's only my personal private account. Isa na nga lang private personal account. Hindi actually hindi private personal account. But doon gusto niya ako troll, walang hiya. Punta na kayo dito sa mga dami natin, 10 other platforms where you're free to comment. Alright? Alam ko kailangan nyo lang kumita kasi overtime. But, okay. Guys, please forgive me kasi sobrang crazy yung politics natin. Hindi ko alam minsan, seryosohin ko pa to? Papatulang ko pa to? Or, yung problema sa atin yung iba naman hindi nila nag-gets. Parang Richard nakiki-echosera ka. Parang, at the same time, guys, social media to. Hindi ito, academic lecture. Although even sa aking mga lectures sa mga different universities around the world, minsan, we do our cracking the jokes and all, diba? But, eto na lang, let me end on this note. Because, when I go abroad and give speeches about the Philippines, Team Philippines tayo, wala akong pake sa domestic politics as much as possible, unless it affects our foreign policy, our position in the world, and place of pride in the world. So, I really hope at some point we can move beyond all of this tribalistic, all of this blind partisanship, mga kadiskaya, mga itong kampihan, etc., blind loyalty, etc. Ayan, dami na natamaan. So, we can talk about national interest. For everything that is going wrong domestically, at least internationally, I think the Philippines is in a much better place right now than just a few years ago. And ako, ang concern ko parati with domestic policy, I don't want it to poison the steady rise of the Philippines as one of the big economies of the 21st century and one of the more serious powers in Southeast Asia, if not beyond. Sayang din. Kasi that potential is being actualized in spite of our horrible politicians. In spite of all of katabbadan, kanangnangan, and all of this kalokohan na nangyari sa ating bansa. And I'll tell you what, as we become a wealthier country in per capita income, habang lumalaki yung ating middle class, lumalaki din yung demand for political consciousness. lumalaki din yung demand for political accountability. Kung titignan natin, marami sa ating mga kababayan na ay aktibo ngayon laban sa corruption, marami sa ating kababayan na nag-engage sa public discourse, marami sa ating mga kababayan na really interested in critical thinking, critical political thinking. You know, we're gonna have more and more of that if we manage to grow our economy and grow our middle class. It's not an automatic thing, because there are times that the middle class or upper class turn pro Duterte, as we saw in the numbers in the past, or pro Trump or pro Modi, whatever. But nevertheless, the direction of the wind, as we put it always with Sir Ronald, is that if we continue to maintain our current growth, we can create that critical mass of people. And kasi Kuznets curve yan. So Kuznets curve is using different ways. Like, so habang tumataas yung economic development mo, tumataas din yung demand for accountability, good governance, environmentalism. Kaya in the earlier phases of economic growth or high economic growth, usually pangit yung environment, daming corruption, etc. But eventually one bring that down. But that doesn't happen on its own. So when the Kuznets curve, actually you can make a comparison with the when you know, Martin Luther King said, you know, the Junior said that you know, the arc of history bends towards justice. That doesn't happen on its own. You have to push it. You have to mobilize. You have to make it happen. But you can make it happen when you use, gamitin mo utak mo, wag kang magpagamit, wag kang magpaano sa mga opportunista. You don't allow them to hijack it, and you push it in the right direction. So you nudge and pressure the Marcos administration. You keep the DDS at bay, and at the same time, you nurture the pink movement, the progressive movement, the pro-Philippines movement, right? Na hindi dapat kampiyan lang sana, but definitely against Team Kadiliman and Team Kasamaan. On that note, thank you very much, guys. Maraming salamat, and thank you for not asking about Jinggoy again, because we want to end on a very respectable, scholarly note. Yung ating ambassador dito, like, diba? Si Richard, appreciate that for his scholarship. So again, for our very scholarly engagement dito. Alright, maraming salamat. Thank you, and talk to you soon. Maganda yun na yung Martin Luther niya. Tsaka yung, I like that. Note down ko yan. See, thanks to you guys, may ano lang tayo, naisip tayo, ano. Yung Kuznets curve, and then Martin Luther. Yan. That's quite something. Thank you very much, guys. And don't forget to watch my videos natin sa ating YouTube. In-upload ko na naman yung iba. Different versions. If you miss some, we have different versions, different slices. I hope you appreciate it. Maraming salamat. Ito may mahiwagang crystal ball dito, kaya ganin ng lighting. Pasensya na, but I think it's good enough. Good enough. Beautiful. Beautiful. Have a lovely day, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're joining us. As far as my time zone is concerned, nagsimula pa lang ng araw. So thank you so much for getting us entertained and going.